Alright. Blacklist, Season 6, Episode 6. The Ethicist. Man, it's Monday. You know, Monday means another review of the Blacklist. And the Ethicist, I enjoyed the Ethicist. Well, before I get into the review, I want to answer a question that's come up a lot in the comments and stuff on my different videos about the Blacklist. A lot of people keep asking me if I'm on Reddit or if I'm in any other groups and da-da-da. And really, the only group I follow, and this is not a promotion, I'm not getting paid for this, I don't even know the admins of the group, but I joined one group on Facebook. I joined the Blacklist group, got 30,000 members. They do some awesome conversations. They get deep into the theories. It's really a great group. You know, so if you're going to try to join any group I was in, hey, I'm honored, but that's the only one. I don't do Reddit for anything. Just never got into Reddit. Don't even have a Reddit account. So, yeah, that's the answer to the question of, am I on Reddit? I don't even have an account. But as for the reason you're here, we're watching Season 6, Episode 6, The Ethicist, who I gotta say, I thought he was a cool Blacklister. I really did. I liked him. He was like cold-hearted as the best, and yet at the same time, he was kind of chill all around, so I thought he was a good Blacklister. It's a shame he had to die. But, like he said, it was the ethical thing to do. So, this episode, you know, it kind of left me right on the fence. Like, I'm right on the fence. I thought it was wonderful how Elizabeth came out and, you know, took a couple of pages, more than one, of Red's playbook and manipulated and used the task force to get information and to get to someone that she wanted to. That was great. I thought it was, again, it shows her amateurism and recklessness doing something as stupid as handing Wrestler a fake phone number. So I found that to be, you know, typical Liz. That's why I made her the background, because we didn't get a whole lot from Red. You know, I was really excited. I thought it was going to be nothing but laughs and giggles the whole time with him going to the psychiatrist. And yeah, it was a couple of scenes that were meh. You know, they were good. The acting was great as always. I mean, I don't think Spader does bad acting. I don't think he can. I just don't think it's in him. But what did we get from this episode? Really? Nothing to go into theories, nothing to go into plot. What we got was a lot more doors opened up, which is going to lead to a lot more possibilities and a lot more confusion. But the fundamental flaw that I had talked about in one of my earlier videos with Liz's and Jennifer's plan is, people go to the plastic surgeon guy, I forget his name, Dr. somebody, he died. But they go there because they want to be someone new. They don't want to have people know them. It's not like they're all sitting around at a country club someplace and just getting new faces made. You know, so it was kind of a flaw to think that just because he was a patient around, not even sure it was at the same time, but around the time Red would have been there, that he would have known Red. And he told him as much. He said, I don't know him. It's, you know, not like we sat around and chit-chatted. But he told him, you know, give me the gun, let me kill myself so that I don't spend life in prison, and I'll tell you the name of someone that might. And that opened up door number one, because he gave us a nurse that took care of the pre and post-op, and that was Marguerite Renard. I think it was Marguerite. Definitely Renard was the last name. And I had never heard this. This didn't ring a bell with any of the Blacklist characters that I've ever heard, or in any of Red's flashbacks or cliche comments, and never brought her up. So Never heard of her, don't know. And that was what we got from Liz and Jennifer's best efforts. Just another lead to chase. It's kind of like how in National Treasure they talked about, and the clue leads to another clue, and another clue, and another clue. It's kind of how this story's starting to go. That's why I'm saying when I say they need to step it up, I don't mean it needs to be explosions and gunshots every 5 minutes. I'm just saying that this is drawn out. They got 22 episodes, 6 in. Red's just getting ready for jury selection. I am so happy to bring in Glenn back in. I love Glenn. Glenn's one of my favorite characters from this show. I mean, the way he torments Red every time he goes down to the DMV, oh my God, so good. And I just like Glenn. He's a pip, so this ought to be fun. And with the judge and the district attorney they have, oh God, if they stick Glenn in that room, should be a lot of laughs there. So I am looking forward to that. And Red, he pulled a fast one to try to get his, he got his own competency tested. But only because he wanted to talk to someone that he knew was already in the psychiatric facility. And I wasn't clear if he's looking to get a hit done or if he's looking to get a hit prevented. But it gave us General Shiro. Never heard of General Shiro. But next week's episode is titled General Shiro, so we can say he's a blacklister. And I'm guessing he's going to send the task force and Liz after this guy. Don't know why. Don't really know anything about him. Like I said, it was kind of vague and mysterious as to what Red's end goal is. You know, I kind of agree with Elizabeth. You would think he'd be a lot more focused on his trial. But I'm still going with the prison break. Still going with the prison break. Has to be a prison break. Otherwise the show's going to end with Red spending the rest of his life in prison. So, yeah. There's not a lot of meat to tear into the theories or to lead us to the bones and the imposter identities. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for Alexander Kirk to show up. I don't know. I just have a feeling that we ain't done with good old Kirk. But this episode was good. But it was very drug out. The acting was great as always, with the exception of Jennifer. I've said a million times, I'm not a fan of her acting. Got nothing against her. It doesn't fit the role. And yeah, so I'm excited for next week. That's the one thing that this week's episode did. Is it got me excited enough to definitely want to see next week, which is just something I want to take a moment to talk about, because there's been a lot of talk on the internet about NBC might cancel the Blacklist because the ratings have dropped, and apparently they dropped from last year and now they're dropping again this year. And I love the show. If they cancel this show, I will truly be disappointed. But it has been 6 years. I would like the writers to maybe, hopefully, we can tie up the Red, Elizabeth. Why did he come into her life? What is their connection angle? 6 years you kind of dragged this out. Maybe we could wrap that up. Because there are so many loose ends right now, and it just seems like every episode the writers write a new episode that makes more loose ends. So I'm hoping and praying that they don't cancel the Blacklist. But I'm equally hoping and praying that if they are going to cancel it, okay, we're all adults, we can accept that. But at least give us the definitive answer once and for all to Red and Liz's connection, why he came in her life, what was the purpose of all this. Just wrap that up. And then if there is remaining episodes, seasons, I hope there's many more seasons. I hope to be one day doing a review of season 20, episode 1. I mean, that's just how dedicated I am. But maybe we could use the rest of that time to wrap up all the other questions. Just my thoughts. But there is concern because they don't count stream viewers, that it's making it look like the show has lost popularity, and I'm kind of thinking that the show hasn't lost popularity. I just think that most people who watch it are watching it streaming, especially because they moved it to Friday night. It's a horrible night, especially with the show's demographics being young. Young people want to go out on Friday night. Us old people, it's great for us. We now have something to do on Friday night. Young people, not so much. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we get many, many more seasons. And let us equally keep our fingers crossed that they keep their word and never end the show without giving us the answer. And that's my review of the Ethicist. Like I said, it was a great show. Just kind of drug out. You basically took the entire show to give us 2 names. I don't know. I'm hoping that with Glenn's comedy coming in, now we're at jury selection. I'm hoping whatever they're going to do to wrap up this whole prison thing gets wrapped up quick. So yeah, as I always say, if you like it, you can click like. That'd be a great help. If you haven't already, if you would click subscribe, that'd be a really big help to me and to the channel, because like I said, I'm just starting this thing. I've had the channel for a long time, but I've just become serious at trying to really, I get somewhat established. And they set a very realistic goal of 1,000 subs. And I was like, could I do 1,000? I don't know. So that's my goal. So yeah, if you could, if you haven't already, click subscribe, because until this show is canceled one day, I'm going to continue to do these reviews. I'm going to continue to look forward to the comments on this show and the reviews, and the conversations we've been having have been great. And to address one last thing, when I say that we're going to drop the ban hammer on the trolls, I don't mean people that disagree with the video. I've had some of you guys comment and made me go, oh crap, I never thought about that. I had to go do an entire video on The Alchemist because 3 comments were so compelling. I was like, oh man, baby. Then I was like, but don't you have to be dead for The Alchemist to do his work? And everybody's like, no. And I was like, wow. So that's what I like. That's good conversation. Because I could be wrong. I'm not a writer for the show. No one has sent me a undercover script. And to be honest, if they did, I wouldn't read it. Because I look too much. I look forward too much to watching it every week. It's something to keep going. I have to admit, some of these long gaps, in between seasons, that's a little rough. But I'm just like, we gotta step this up here a little bit, because I don't want to see the show end and not know. Come on. We went through the whole Tom thing. We went through the whole fugitive thing. Oh my God, we've gone through so much with Liz. Just tell us already. 6 years. And I have not missed an episode, and I have not watched an episode less than 4 times, including The Ethicist. So I'm really hoping that the rumor mill on the internet, as it so often is wrong on this one too, and that the Blacklist has another 10 or 20 seasons in it. I want to see Elizabeth old and gray and Agnes having some criminal walk into her life at the police academy. That would be alright with me. So, yep. I'm starting to ramble a little bit. So until my next video, thank you for coming by. Thank you as always for watching. If you liked it, please click the like. Hey, if you didn't like it, there's a dislike button too. But don't just click dislike and bounce, Click dislike and tell me why you didn't like it. Let's discuss it, because then I can learn too and grow. So, yeah, and if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. That'd be a great help. Okay. Until my next one, thank you so much for stopping by.